right outside, so come on in, don't be shy. We've got ghosts and UFOs. Brace yourself, get ready for the show. Don't be afraid of the dark, the fun's about to start. Nightmares or tales will inspire. Oh, tonight at the Scaredy Campfire. Have you heard tell of a demon next door? Or maybe a cryptid on the lake shore? There's nothing too strange for us here, so if you're ready, stamp out your fear. Don't be afraid of the dark, the fun's about to start. Nightmares or tales will inspire. Tonight at the Scaredy Campfire. Whoa, whoa.
Welcome back, campers, to episode 58 of the Scaredy Campfires. Tonight's tale starts with a feeling, the kind that settles deep in your chest when you realize you're no longer alone. Even though nothing has changed, the room looks the same, but something else has arrived. Tonight's story comes from Reddit user u/AshleyB, who began questioning her lifelong sense of safety after uncovering a devastating family secret. What she once dismissed as dreams or intuition took on a darker meaning when she learned a tragic death had occurred inside her childhood home. As her experiences intensified, from disembodied footsteps to face watching her from beside the bed, the line between fear and reality began to blur. I think my house is somehow haunted by my aunt or her demons, and I don't know what to do. The house that I, 21 female, live in currently with my parents as I finish college was built by my dad and my granddad from scratch. My entire life, I've always been pretty confident that my paranormal experiences were just weird dreams or hallucinations, because obviously there couldn't be a ghost or spirit there. No one ever died there or anything. There's no creepy house history before us. Turns out there was actually a death in the house that I was never told about. I've always known my aunt passed away before I was born due to overdose, but no one ever told me until this week that she passed away in our living room, on my granddad's old couch. So every time I've calmed myself with the fact that there has never been any death in the house, I was just completely wrong. Super awesome. I had some weird experiences when I was little, mostly with dreams, like seeing a very, very vivid knight in shining armor in my doorway, which I had an odd fear of knights for some reason. Long story, I don't know what that says about my childhood, but as I've gotten older, the experiences have gotten so much more real. Honestly, I had worked on my intuition and clairvoyance skills in this house when I was about 16 or 17 and had to stop because I was getting too scared of what I was hearing and dreaming about. Like I once woke up to a very loud whisper of my name being called when I was home alone, and it absolutely freaked me out. I've always said that I refuse to actually see anything, whether I have an ability to or not. I don't ever want to visibly see anything. Hearing is fine with me, or the weird knowing is fine with me, but seeing is where I draw the line. But when I was about 19, I was in a relationship with this guy, and I had a dream that I was laying on my bed in my room face down, and the guy I was dating was standing right next to me beside the bed facing me. In this dream, an arm comes out of the side crack of my bed and begins to pull my arm down with it. This freaks me out, so I wake up in that exact position as I was in the dream, face down. My arm that was being pulled down is numb, so I look down at my arm first to see if anything weird is beside it, and there is nothing there. Just a weird tingling sensation like my arm fell asleep. I'm kind of semi-stuck to my bed like my arm is, almost like paralysis, but not entirely. So then I looked to the side of my bed where my boyfriend at the time had been standing in my dream, and I am met with this transparent face smiling at me as though some figure is kneeling down next to my bed. I am looking it in the eyes as it slowly fades away to nothing, and I wish I could say, and then I woke up, or, and then I went back to bed, but nope. I got up and I went into the living room with my dad, where I had a full-blown conversation with him about what I had seen, and he could tell I was really, really freaked out. There is another time where I'm home alone taking a bath, and my mum had just left the house to go to the grocery store. I hear walking outside of the bathroom door so vivid to the point where I yell out for my mum and ask her how she got done so quickly or if she had even left yet. No response. I thought that was odd, so I call out again, and still I'm hearing the walking. I begin to be pretty freaked out at this point, so I call my mum, and her phone rings from the kitchen, and the walking stops immediately. I'm relieved because this makes me think, oh, okay, it's my mum checking her phone, but the phone still rings and no answer, no call. So then I call my dad for him to tell me that he and my mum had went to the store together and my mum had forgotten her phone at home. These are the two big ones that are recent. The house honestly freaks me out, but I've always brushed it off because I thought it couldn't be anything, because the house has no history, but I was very upset to find out how wrong I was about this my whole life. My dad has also had some experiences, and he's intuitive, just like me, so he picks up on things even though he is very against the paranormal. Now armed with the truth about her aunt's passing, the house no longer feels like just walls and memories. Whether these encounters stem from lingering energy, suppressed intuition, or something far more unsettling, they've left the user shaken and searching for answers. Some homes don't reveal their history all at once, and when they finally do, they remind us that the past has a way of making itself known, whether we're ready or not. Tonight's second story comes from Reddit user u/warmhospital 1931, who thought leaving a haunted dorm behind meant leaving the activity with it. Instead, whatever followed them into their new residence came with shadows, unlocking doors, disembodied voices, and a growing sense of hostility. As October arrived, and walls were torn apart for repairs, their dorm began to feel less like student housing and more like occupied territory. Last year my dorm was haunted. I made a couple posts about it back then. This year we have had some more activity despite living in a different dorm from last year. In the dorm there are four of us, myself, A was also a roommate last year, B and L. The activity started in early October when I saw a shadow figure walk through the door into the hall. I thought it was L leaving for class, however the door didn't open. We slowly started noticing more and more things, such as shadow figures in the two bathrooms. I also started seeing a figure in the common area where we have our kitchen and a couch. One day I noticed that their little tiny mirror in their room was pointing at their bed. They never intentionally pointed at their bed. A and I have always been sensitive to the paranormal, so it is usually only myself and them that see figures. However, B gets bad feelings about areas more than anything. The dorm has two doors to enter into it, one on my side and one on the side of A and B. The door on A and B's side started unlocking on its own. Now we get to the point where things really started picking up. A and B's bathroom door started opening on its own, and the light turns on by itself. They leave the door closed even when they don't use it. A's door started being open when they had closed it. B would feel like the dorm was really hostile whenever she would be home alone. One day I was fighting with my boyfriend and I went into my room and closed the door. There's a knock on the door and I say, yes, and I hear A ask me, are you okay? And I say I am, but I was just going to bed. The next morning I ask A if they came to check on me, and they said no. They know I like being alone when I'm upset. I asked B and L if they came to check on me, and they both said they didn't. They weren't home or didn't come over to my side. It was around this time that we figured out that we had three different entities within the dorm, one on A and B's side, and one on L and my side, and one in the common area. We also started suspecting that they showed up in October because that was around the time the building management ripped open our wall to repair after a flood. One night B and I were sitting in the common room, and every time I tried to talk, there would be a loud knock on the wall, and we both kept getting touched while sitting on the couch. One day I was in the kitchen by myself, and I turned to put something in the fridge. The door to A and B's side unlocked in front of me. I checked the peephole and no one was outside unlocking it. Plus, they both kinda suck with their keys, and I would have heard the key mislock a couple of times. Now, 2 weeks ago, LB and I went back to our respective hometowns for our reading weeks. While we were gone, A had a large amount of activity, from large amount of sounds from L and my side, to hearing scratching from the common area. The creepiest thing that A mentioned was hearing a lot of noises from B's room, which included the springs of her bed squeaking. A wasn't sure if B was back yet, as that was the day we were all supposed to get back, so A went and knocked on the door. They asked if B was home, and in response A heard what they describe as someone pretending to pan like a dog. And before you say anything, I made a joke that the ghosts were having sex while I was told of this. Now from here, this has all been in the past week. I got home and my side smelled like rotting food. Both Elle and I made sure that we didn't leave any food in our rooms before we left. Everything felt really negative. A and I both did an egg cleanse that night, and they both came back with spikes. For those of you that don't know anything about egg cleanses, spikes are very much not good. That night, A and I had no activity, however, B had the most activity she had ever had. From stuff moving all over her room to hearing the door to the side unlock by itself at 3 a.m. The next day, we decided to go and see what we can do to deal with the activity. We made a spray from cedar, pine, rosemary, and cinnamon, as advised to us by a spirit expert. We got some protection candles and Palo Santo to burn. The activity calmed down for a couple of days. However, whenever we tried to spray the spray in a place where we felt uneasy, the spray bottles would clog. We since determined that it was getting clogged by the cinnamon and fixed that. However, it was strange, it only happened when we were spraying those spots. Then the lights started turning on in A and B's bathroom again, and B started having stuff happen in her room again, including strange noises, things moving and getting touched. A kept hearing and seeing things, including B's voice saying at one point. As for me, I will see shadow figures and get weird vibes. Yesterday we went back and got some more protection candles and Palo Santo. B and I sat with the candle for a while and smoked our rooms with the Sao Paulo. A wasn't home at the time. The most recent things that happened are the doorknob to my side moved on its own. I got touched on my butt when I was walking into the common room. More shadow figures. B saw A's bedroom doorknob moving when A had already left for the day. A woke up this morning to their phone under their bed when they had left it on their desk, and their bedroom door was open when they closed it. I'm gonna smoke A's room with the Palo Santo while they are out today. I guess this post was just me wanting to share the experience, and before y'all say anything, Elle is hardly home. There's no way she could have faked anything. She had experiences with an entity in her dorm last year as well, but if she has experienced anything this year, she hasn't told us. With cleansing rituals, protection candles, and smoke filling the halls, the activity briefly quieted. but never truly stopped. Doors still open on their own. Voices mimic roommates, and unseen hands continue to reach out in the dark. Whether the disturbances are tied to damaged walls, lingering attachments, or something far less welcome, one thing is clear: whatever moved into that dorm doesn't seem interested in leaving. Some places don't just feel lived in, they are. That ends episode 58, Campus. If the silence feels heavier than usual, trust that instinct. Silence isn't always empty. Until our next gathering, stay near the fire and don't turn your back on the dark.
As the night gets longer and the darkness creeps in, with the eerie silence broken only by whispering wind, come gather round the fire, the flickering flames, and hear the tales of the spooky and the strange. Chill up your back, a shiver up your spine. You'll be haunted by the things that you find. Legends will unfold and stories will be told at the scale